First vocational school in Fond du Lac was started in 1912, as well as the first vocational school in Beaver Dam. And if you think about the time, only 1 in 30 people graduated from high school. Most students got to 5th grade and left school. We were just changing over from an agrarian farming society to a manufacturing society. The brewery business was big in Milwaukee, manufacturing was coming in, and so we were really in the midst of our own industrial revolution in the state, and we just did not have adequately prepared people to enter the workforce. The Fond du Lac Vocational School was on the 2nd floor of a laundry. Some were in high schools, adjacent to the high schools or part of the high school. During the day, the continuation schools were primarily very young people, 14 to 16-year-old. At night, you tended to see more adult education, people coming back to get trade training, and apprentices. And they enrolled in things like millinery, home nursing, dressmaking, there was cabinet making, and business math. So a lot of the early programs were related to the home with some business emphasis. The Great Depression really changed what the vocational schools looked like in Fond du Lac and also Beaver Dam. Instead of having a lot of young people, the trend was to having older students. Also, you had the vocational schools becoming the center of community life. As an example, women would bring their groceries and be taught how to stretch those groceries on a very slim budget, and you had musical groups formed. And you had all kinds of training. You had avocational training, training for the local industries in the area. So during the Depression, the Fond du Lac and Beaver Dam campuses became really the centers of community life. So it really shows that the technical college system as a whole has responded to the employment needs of the times.
Saving my love for you.
World War II changed the face of the technical and vocational schools again. Technical schools operated 24 hours a day during World War II, creating material and training people either in the vocational schools or at the job sites. Women were suddenly doing jobs and being trained for jobs that they had never been trained for before. So you had women welders and women sheet metal workers. The vocational schools also played a unique role in producing knives for the personal use of service people that were overseas. These special knives were produced at the vocational schools in Fond du Lac and Beaver Dam and West Bend and sent all over the world from the families of the service people. The federal money that came into the state for war preparation and training actually came through the Technical College Board. So even Washington, D.C. recognized the important role that the technical schools played in the war manufacturing and preparation. Shaboom, shaboom.
When I came here in 1979, I think this place was state of the art. It was really well run and had programs that were in response to what the workforce, what the people wanted. The sophistication or the level of knowledge required by people to function in our society changed, and it required another level of general education, knowledge, and it just so happened that it was at the baccalaureate level. We moved from vocational diploma programs and certificate programs to associate degree programs. They changed the names of these institutions to recognize that they were then functioning, and to this day function at a, quote, college level. So our names changed, and it was all in response to the nature of work and the level of it and the kind of education people needed in order to be successful.
Colleges and universities were trending towards different types of technology, but I think it was also a struggle because of all the training and all the newness of it. I think students had an expectation that we provide some of the technology. In the 80s, it was probably apparent that we needed more tape recorders or more slide projectors, driven by what the faculty was ordering and what by the students needed, so that we could provide the latest, greatest knowing that it would benefit our students in the workplace and benefit them while they were studying here. The internet gave us an opportunity to provide information that we weren't able to provide before. You know, you had the blackboard. You could draw an anatomical figure. But with the internet, you can actually interact with that anatomical person and probably learn a little bit more. We could really expand on what we did and how we served the students and staff.
If I go back to the year 2000, I would say in any one of our two-year college educational delivery pathways, definite focus on healthcare-related programs. Then we began to see an influx in the manufacturing, the trades area. Now, what also happened in that time frame, I began to see a decline in some of those types of training programs in our secondary education. Fast forward to the start of our 2012-13 academic year, great influx as we look at the technology ed, the trades area, manufacturing, welding as a growth, even specifically here within the Moraine Park District. We've engaged students more in the learning process, but more importantly, we've offered our courses in hybrid methods, which is a combination of come into the college, the educational environment, to fully online delivery where a student does not have to physically come to a campus to do any part of that course requirement. We are in a position to be able to do even a change that is going to be quicker than 2 years out. It is important that we stay attuned to what is happening from our local perspective, the many communities we share, but also on a statewide and a national element, because it's that type of information that has us address our current programming, also new programming needs that we might have. What we're doing today versus what we're doing 5, 10 years from now is going to look different.